Once you understand the core mod farming loop, things might seem like they're running smoothly for a while. Once you reach a certain point, however, you'll find that you're facing some tougher choices to make. When should I stop farming new mods and start slicing? Which mods should I slice first? These can be tricky questions to approach, so let's go over as much as we can to make you a more informed slicer. First things first, which mods slice best? There are some stats that are far better to 6E than others, and generally you should farm mods with 6E in mind. Flat stats are currently equal value for a good amount of Gear 12 characters, but unless CG takes action down the road on whatever comes next for mod progression, these stats will only continue to become less relevant. Let's compare the 1% health secondary target I gave you to the maximum possible flat health roll. At 6 dot values, flat health will give you 535 health per roll at maximum. The 1% health target I gave you will slice up to 1.77% per roll, meaning that if a character has more than 30,000 base health, flat health starts falling behind. 30,000 health is increasingly becoming obsolete as characters have been getting more health leaderships, Gear 13, and relics. To give an extreme example, Rey recently came out with a base health of 170,000 or 200,000 if she's the leader. A single percent health roll at 6 dot will give her a whopping 6,800 health, which is competing against flat health's 1,070. For a common free-to-play relic example, Jedi Knight Anakin doubles the value of percent health over flat health at Relic 7. Flat health and protection stats just can't keep up anymore unless you're using them on squishy Gear 12 units. Offense is largely the same case. The max roll for percent offense breaks even with flat offense at about 3,300 and only gets better from there. Percent-based secondaries scale far better than their flat counterparts ever since Gear 13 and Relics came out. On the high value end, percent offense triples its value. Percent defense and percent health fall just above and below doubling themselves, and flat defense rounds out with a 63% gain. The rest all gain 33% or lower, but don't necessarily let yourself be disheartened by some of these. Tenacity and potency gaining 33% is still super respectable, since they're a unique type of stat with no competitors. Percent protection still provides solid increases for squares and diamonds. The primary on a mod is also a major factor. Some primaries practically require being 6 dot to be worth using, and others barely even shift given the investment. Health and tenacity primaries require 6 dot to function. Crit avoidance, offense, crit damage, potency, and crit chance all receive respectable gains that are worth the materials. Defense and accuracy actually receive solid boosts, but their usage is so rare that I really shouldn't even be mentioning them. On the lower end, protection might as well not even receive the stat at all. This isn't to say that you can never 6 dot a protection primary, but if you choose to do so, it better be for a good reason. Slicing speed is a bit of a weird topic to approach. Speed secondaries will only ever increase by 1, and speed arrows will always increase by 2. This means that a full 6 dot set of speed mods will always increase your speed by 7, or 6 with a non-speed primary arrow. It's important that you don't fall into the trap of only slicing high-speed mods, but at the same time, many setups require that you want to outspeed an enemy character, or be as fast as possible for more oppressive defense. It's a tricky balance, and I've definitely sliced some mods that are otherwise trash because I needed to increase my speed ceiling, especially if it's some of my fastest mods in that slot. It's a careful balance and will often be driven by what types of mods you're hunting for at that time. There isn't a concrete rule for when to stop farming and start slicing. Some mods are so good that I'll immediately stop farming mods and switch to farming whatever slicing materials that mod needs. Personally, I usually switch when I farmed enough mods to hit full capacity. There's 2 paths that you can take from here. First, you can just start throwing all of your weight into farming slicing materials and going to town until you've had your fill, then going back to farming. Alternatively, you can see this as an opportunity to increase your standards on what mods you keep. Sell the lower half of your slicing candidates in terms of quality, slice the best looking candidates, then go back to farming. Both options are equally valid, but chase the urge to take what progress you've made in farming and use it as a stepping stone into a higher tier of quality. If you were keeping mods with 2 matches, push to 3. or push 3 matches to a pickier quality in terms of stat rolls. I would still keep away from only keeping 4 matches, as the odds are a bit too low to be a realistic goal. Whichever option you choose, the process of slicing is the same as leveling. Sell the mods that don't play out, and keep the ones that make you proud. Keep this habit over time, and your account will grow up to be big and strong. That covers almost everything. Now that you've gotten through this series, you'll be more empowered to execute on some of the coolest techniques that this game has to offer if you stick with it. There's one more side video with some smaller subjects I'd like to cover, but other than that, I think it's time to move on to some new topics. There's a few categories I have in mind, such as GAC tactics and strategy, or some fundamentals that apply to a ton of PvE content that CG has been releasing lately. I just wanted to say a serious thanks to everyone for watching. I seriously had no idea when I started this series whether there was any interest in, let's face it, the least popular thing to do in this game. The interest and support helped push me through in these tough times. Whatever comes next, I'll see you there.